What if the greatest treasure you've been searching for your whole life, the secret to success, wasn't hidden in some faraway place, but locked inside your own mind? Have you ever stopped to wonder, could it really be that simple? Most people spend their entire lives chasing opportunities, money, and recognition, believing success is something they have to find. But what if the real secret isn't out there? It's in here, inside your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindset. Think about it. Two people can face the same challenge, start with the same resources, even encounter the same obstacles, yet one breaks down while the other breaks through. What's the difference? It isn't luck. It isn't fate. It's the way their mind works. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your deadliest enemy. It can push you forward towards success or chain you down in fear and doubt. And here's the catch. It's not always about intelligence, talent, or background. It's about how you choose to think. I've been asking myself this. Have I been underestimating the power of my own mind? Have I been so focused on external circumstances that I've overlooked the one thing that truly determines whether I win or lose? My mindset? Today, I'm taking a step into the unknown. I'm diving deep into my mind, questioning the beliefs that have guided me for years, and challenging myself to unlock the truth. Does my mind really hold the secret to success? Or is that just another motivational myth we tell ourselves? And if the secret really is in my mind, then what thoughts, what attitudes, what perspectives have been standing in my way this whole time? What if the barriers I've been blaming on the world have actually been walls built inside my head? This is not just a question about success. It's a question about me, about you, about anyone who has ever wondered why they're not where they want to be yet. So here's my challenge. I'm going to uncover the truth, step by step, thought by thought. And by the end of this journey, maybe we'll both know. Does the mind truly hold the secret to success? Success. It's a word that carries so much weight, yet means something different to everyone. For some, success is money. For others, it's freedom. For some, it's recognition. But here's the truth. No matter how you define it, your path to success starts in the same place, your mind. When people think about success, they often imagine external factors, connections, opportunities, timing, even luck. And yes, those things matter, but they're not the foundation. The foundation is mindset. The way you see yourself, the way you interpret failure, the way you approach challenges. These are the invisible forces that shape your journey. Think about it. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders weren't born with a map to success. They built their lives on a mindset that allowed them to keep going when everything told them to stop. They weren't superhuman. They simply trained their minds to think differently. That's why I'm asking this big question. Does the mind hold the secret to success? Because if it does, that means success isn't locked away in some exclusive vault only a few can access. It means it's available to you, to me, to anyone willing to master their own mindset. In this video, I want to dig deep into this concept. I'm going to look at the misconceptions we often have about success, explore the science of mindset, and share insights that might just change the way you think about your own potential. I'm not here to sell you the fantasy that mindset alone will hand you everything you want. Hard work, strategy, and persistence are non-negotiable. But mindset is the engine behind all of it. Without it, even the best plans fall apart. With it, even the biggest obstacles can be turned into stepping stones. So what are we really talking about here? We're talking about the difference between a mind that sees failure as the end and a mind that sees failure as feedback. The difference between a mind that plays small because of fear and a mind that dares to dream bigger because it believes. If your mind truly does hold the secret to success, then unlocking it could be the most important step you ever take. And that's what I'm here to explore today. Not just to inspire you, but to challenge you to rewire the way you think about success from the inside out. Here's the problem. Most of us had been taught to believe that success is something that happens to us, not something that happens through us. We've been conditioned to look at external factors, money, connections, timing, even luck, and assume that those who succeed simply had more of them. We look at successful people and say they were just in the right place at the right time, or they got lucky with their opportunities, or even they had resources I don't have. And while those things can make a difference, they're not the full story. In fact, focusing too much on them blinds us from the real power that lies within our control, our mindset. This misconception creates a dangerous trap. If we believe success depends only on external factors, we give up before we even start. We wait for opportunities instead of creating them. We envy others instead of building ourselves. We convince ourselves that success is a lottery ticket, not a skill we can develop. Think about how many people you know who start strong, full of energy, dreams, and passion, only to give up when things get hard. Why? Because they believe difficulty means they're not meant for success. They see obstacles as proof that success isn't for them, instead of understanding that obstacles are part of the process. This mindset shows up everywhere. Someone doesn't get the job they wanted, they decide they're not good enough. A business idea fails. They conclude they're not cut out to be an entrepreneur. They fail a test once, and suddenly they believe they're not smart. But the truth is, the problem isn't the failure. It's the story their mind tells them about the failure. And this is where the real challenge lies. Your mind can either trap you in these limiting beliefs, or it can free you. But most of us never stop to question the stories we've been telling ourselves. We accept them as truth, when in reality, they're just thoughts that can be changed. The misconception that success is about external luck leaves us powerless. It keeps us comparing instead of growing, doubting instead of trying, and settling instead of striving. It's not that people don't have potential, it's that they don't believe they do. So the real problem isn't out there in the world, it's in here, in the way we think, in the way we interpret setbacks, in the way we see ourselves. Until we address that, no amount of money, opportunity, or luck will make a difference. Scientists and psychologists have been studying success for decades. And one of the most powerful discoveries comes from the work of Carol Dweck at Stanford University. She introduced the concept of the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. And understanding this difference could completely change the way you see success. A fixed mindset believes abilities are set in stone. You're either smart or you're not, talented or untalented, capable or incapable. People with this mindset tend to avoid challenges, fear failure, and see effort as a sign of weakness. Why try if it only proves you're not naturally gifted? On the other hand, a growth mindset believes abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. People with this mindset see challenges as opportunities to grow, failure as feedback, and effort as the path to mastery. To them, success isn't about being born great. It's about becoming great. Think about how differently these two mindsets respond to the same situation. A fixed mindset sees a setback as proof that they're not good enough. A growth mindset sees the same setback as a chance to learn and get better. One gives up, the other adapts. And over time, that difference creates two completely different lives. But it's not just theory, it's visible everywhere. Students with a growth mindset perform better academically because they believe they can improve. Athletes with a growth mindset push harder in training because they see effort as progress. Entrepreneurs with a growth mindset bounce back from failure because they see it as part of the journey. Even the brain itself supports this idea. Neuroscience shows us that the brain is adaptable. It can rewire itself, build new connections, and strengthen skills through practice. This concept, called neuroplasticity, proves that we are not fixed beings. Our minds and abilities can grow if we train them. The real question, then, isn't whether you were born talented enough for success. The real question is, are you willing to shape your mind into one that sees growth where others see defeat? Are you willing to shift from thinking, I can't, to, I can learn? Because the truth is, the secret to success doesn't lie in whether you got lucky. It lies in whether you choose a growth mindset or a fixed one. That choice, over time, determines how far. I want you to imagine two people standing at the same starting line. Both dream of building a business. Both face the same challenges: rejection, failure, and self-doubt. One gives up after the first setback, convinced they're not cut out for it. The other uses the setback as fuel, asking, what can I learn from this? How can I adapt? Fast forward 5 years. The difference is staggering. One is stuck in the same place, while the other has grown into success. The only real difference? Mindset. History is filled with examples of people who turned their mindset into their greatest weapon. Take Thomas Edison. When asked about his thousands of failed attempts to invent the light bulb, he didn't say, I failed. He said, I found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's not just resilience. That's a growth mindset in action. His invention literally changed the world. And it wouldn't have happened if his mind had told him to quit. Or you'll go. I want you to imagine two people standing at the same starting line. Both dream of building a business. Both face the same challenges: rejection, failure, and self-doubt. One gives up after the first setback, convinced they're not cut out for it. The other uses the setback as fuel, asking, what can I learn from this? How can I adapt? Fast forward 5 years. The difference is staggering. One is stuck in the same place, while the other has grown into success. The only real difference? Mindset. History is filled with examples of people who turned their mindset into their greatest weapon. Take Thomas Edison. When asked about his thousands of failed attempts to invent the light bulb, he didn't say, I failed. He said, I found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's not just resilience. That's a growth mindset in action. His invention literally changed the world. And it wouldn't have happened if his mind had told him to quit. Or look at Michael Jordan, the man many call the greatest basketball player of all time. He was cut from his high school basketball team. Most people would have taken that as proof they weren't good enough. But Jordan's mindset turned that pain into motivation. He worked harder, trained longer, and transformed himself into a legend. His failure wasn't the end. It was the spark. Even modern entrepreneurs prove this point. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the very company he founded. For many, that would have been the end of the story. But Jobs used that failure to reinvent himself, eventually returning to Apple and building it into one of the most valuable companies in history. That shift didn't come from luck. It came from how his mind interpreted the setback. And here's the insight. Success doesn't always come from avoiding failure. In fact, it often comes through failure. What separates the people who make it from the people who don't is the story they tell themselves when they fall. Some say, this means I'm not good enough. Others say, this means I'm getting closer. That story is written in the mind. This realization hit me like a lightning bolt. My own limitations were never the failures I experienced. My true limitation was how my mind interpreted those failures. It wasn't life holding me back. It was my mindset. The turning point comes when you stop asking, why me, and start asking, what's next? When your mind stops seeing obstacles as walls and starts seeing them as stepping stones, everything changes. That's when setbacks become setups, and breakdowns become breakthroughs. And maybe that's the real secret. Not that the mind magically creates success overnight, but that it gives you the lens to keep moving forward when the rest of the world tells you to quit. That shift, the one that happens in your head, might just be the single most powerful secret to success there is. So what have we uncovered? Success isn't only about resources, connections, or luck. It begins in the mind. It starts with the way you think, the way you interpret setbacks, and the way you choose to respond when life doesn't go your way. We saw how a fixed mindset traps people into believing their abilities are limited, while a growth mindset frees them to keep improving, learning, and evolving. That simple shift from "I can't" to "I can learn" can be the difference between giving up and becoming great. The stories of Edison, Jordan, Jobs, and countless others prove this isn't just theory. Their lives show us that mindset is not just an idea. It's a practical tool that shapes destiny. It doesn't mean you won't face failure. It means your failures won't define you. Think about the biggest obstacle in your life right now. What if the barrier isn't the situation itself, but the way your mind has been framing it? What if success is waiting on the other side of a mindset shift you haven't made yet? Because here's the truth. Your mind can be your greatest enemy or your strongest ally. It can tell you why you'll fail, or it can remind you why you must keep going. And the voice you choose to listen to will determine the life you build. So yes, the mind does hold the secret to success, not because it makes the journey easier, but because it makes you stronger. It gives you the perspective to keep moving when others stop, to see lessons where others see loss, to find possibilities where others see dead ends. And if that's true, then your success doesn't start tomorrow or next year or when circumstances improve. It starts right now, with how you think, with the stories you choose to believe, with the mindset you decide to adopt today. The secret was never outside of you. It was always within you, in your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindset. Unlock that, and you unlock the path to success. Now that we've explored how the mind can hold the secret to success, I want to hear from you. Think about your own journey. Have there been moments when your mindset lifted you up, or moments when it held you back? Share your story in the comments below, because your words might just be the spark someone else needs to keep going. I truly believe growth doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in conversation, in community, in the exchange of experiences. By sharing, you not only strengthen your own mindset, you inspire others to reframe their struggles and push forward. And if today's message resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Dive deeper, explore your own beliefs, challenge the thoughts that whisper limitations. Train your mind every single day, because success is not built in one breakthrough. It's built in the small, consistent shifts in how you think. If you're serious about unlocking your full potential, I invite you to check out the other videos on this channel. Each one is designed to challenge your perspective, fuel your growth, and remind you that the power to succeed is already within you. But remember, knowledge without action changes nothing. Don't just nod along and then return to old habits. Take one idea from this video, just one, and put it into practice today. Maybe it's embracing failure as feedback. Maybe it's replacing "I can't" with "I can learn." Maybe it's choosing to see an obstacle as an opportunity. Whatever it is, start now. Because success doesn't come to the one who waits. It comes to the one who acts. And your first action might be as simple as deciding that your mind is not your prison, but your greatest tool. That choice today could change the direction of your tomorrow. So here's my challenge for you. Commit to training your mindset as seriously as you train your body, your career, or your craft. Feed it with growth, strengthen it with resilience, and guard it against negativity. If the mind truly holds the secret to success, then your greatest investment will always be in how you think. And finally, if this journey we've taken together gave you value, Let's keep walking it side by side. Subscribe, share this with someone who needs it, and continue building a mindset that doesn't just dream of success, but creates it. Your mind is the key. Now it's time to use it.